I'm back, boys. Oh boy, oh boy. My almost favorite part about when the update comes, reading the patch notes. Everybody knows the favorite part of the game for people is choosing to start a new campaign before anything starts. Hey Kevin, thank you for the months. Okay. Just lower this music in the background a little. So we have the II patch notes. I'm just gonna put it on the command, the AAPN. Okay. With the launch of the Curse of the Vampire Coast campaign pack comes a new update for Warhammer 2. This will be applied automatically to the game when you log into Steam. The II patch introduces some... Stop interrupting! Thanks a lot for 7 months. Can you zoom in? There you go. Where were we? The II patch introduces some significant changes to the traditional Vampire Counts factions in Mortal Empires, chief of which is the new Bloodlines mechanic. It also grants Handicamera a faction of his own, a new campaign start position and extra bonuses. New free DLC content is also available in the shape of legendary Lord Lokhir Fellheart, the Kraken Lord. A dark elf of noble birth, is a terror of the sea lanes and rightly feared for fielding many dread black arcs. Fellheart can be downloaded from his own Steam page here. So guys, this will not be part of the update. So if you want to claim this new faction, you have to actually go on Steam and click on the download. This will not come automatically with the update, so you're gonna have to get it manually. The II patch update also brings a plethora of balance changes to factions, legendary lords and units, along with numerous tweaks, fixes and improvements to a great many areas of the game. Please see below for exhaustive details. Exhaustive details! I need to change my pajamas. The Vampire Coast sets sail. The Vampire Coast has arrived and has brought with it the Terrors of the Deep. Playable for owners of the new campaign pack, but also present in Mortal Empress and Eye of the Vortex campaigns as AI controlled factions for those players who don't. Adding a huge new threat, or indeed ally, to the game, the Vampire Coast promise to shake up your game experience and introduce a new range of opponents to match yourself against. So they're basically, we're just reading the highlights, not anything in detail right now. But it's been so long since we read the patch notes, so you're gonna read everything. Everything doesn't have multiplayer in the sentence.
What the hell?
Oh man, what the hell is this?
Pirates Ray.
Royalty donated $20. Thank you, Royalty, appreciate it. There we don't have the sub alerts on this window, but you can still hear the sounds. New Vampire Counts mechanic Bloodlines. So this is for the Vampire Counts. We got an update. Another old faction got an update before Greenskins. So they updated so far Bretonia, Dwarves, and now the Vampire Counts, all before the Greenskins. Vampire Counts factions in Mortal Empress can now awaken powerful lords of the 5 ancient vampire bloodlines: the Lachmians, the Von Karsteins, the Blood Dragons, Necrarchs, and the Strigoi. Up to 3 of these archlords may be awoken from each bloodline, and with each awakening, a new wave of powerful faction-wide bonuses is unlocked, reflecting the character and focus of their bloodline. Faction-wide bonuses, huh? These lords also have unique skill trees designed around their bloodline's nature. Makes you wonder what's gonna happen with the regular lords. If you awake these bloodlines, what's gonna be the point of using the regular lords? Like, you know, the Vampire Lord, or if you're one of those special people, the Master Necromancer. Strigoi Ghoul King, you know, it's cool, but his magic turns me off. I don't want to use him. These lords are not easily awoken, however, exacting an increasingly heavy price in blood kisses. They go around and kiss people. These unique new tokens are granted by vassalizing other factions, slaying faction leaders, and wounding or assassinating characters through hero actions. For each lord awoken, the blood key stall for the next lord in the same bloodline rises, unleashes banshees. All legendary lords, including Vampire Coast legendary lords, have also undergone balance changes and tweaks. Please see faction changes below for details. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this, man. It's going so slow down. Oh, Heinrich Kammer, which I find one of the coolest lords in the game because of the voiceovers. Heinrich Kammer has left the service of the Vampire Counts at long last, bidding Sylvania adieu. He strikes out west to pursue his destiny. Now a faction leader in his own right in Mortal Empires, he commands the Barrow Legion from Blackstone Post, the new province capital of the northern Grey Mountains bordering Bretonia. So Karak Ziflin, those dwarves up there that were causing trouble for the Empire and Bretonia alike, no longer have a capital there. Instead, the Blackstone Post, the one in the middle with the iron, is now the capital of the province. So it looks like they're really now just a minor power. Possibly the weakest of the now dwarf factions, because they did not start with the capital. Who knows? Maybe they start with a garrison building immediately, but they usually build the grudge thrower and the infantry building. I mean, the skull smashers were also solo there next to Marienburg. So the area is more now, but wicked dwarves there. Those dwarves sometimes were quite annoying to deal with. I had a situation in Warhammer 1 where they would declare war on me and they just underway all over Reichland and sex elements. Kemmler now gains a mount for the first time, Barret Nightmare, and his army is now immune to the attrition usually caused to Vampire Counts' armies by untainted territory. He can also use the new Bloodlines mechanic to awaken the fabled Vampire Lords of yore. So no attrition from leaving. That's actually pretty good. As this is actually the attrition that slows down, you know, your expansion, because you have to conquer province by province. So what does this mean? Kemmler could fortify his capital and go travel. He doesn't need to stay in Bretonia or the Empire. He can go travel to Estalia or go travel to Hochland, just one example. Because you will not need to spread next there. But the vampires should always spread from somewhere, you know, like from center mass, and just spread their corruption from there in all directions. Real C, Lokhir Fellheart. The Drugi Sea Scourge, Lokhir Fellheart leads the faction of the Blessed Red and is now playable in the Mortal Empires and Eye of the Vortex campaigns, in which he follows the Vortex storyline. He begins play with ownership of the island of Chupayotl, just south of the Star Tower of Archmage Teclis in Lastria. So they added a new island for this guy. This island is present in Eye of the Vortex, but it was not present in Mortal Empires. So the Headhunter Jungle, I think it's called, the starting province on the Clan Pestilence, got another region. It's support with gold. So also a significant boost to Clan Pestilence economy in their starting province. As you know, they were definitely going to have to take him down early. And it's nice to have, I mean, it will be interesting to play Clan Pestilence. We have a Clan Pestilence campaign planned, boys. Maybe not this year, but with the beginning of the next year, probably somewhere. The Kraken Lord does not need to perform rites in order to raise black arcs. He can recruit one for each major port settlement he captures. He doesn't start with a major port, his settlement is a minor region. The closest major port would be the Star Tower, and then the Awakening. Ultimately amassing a fleet of them with which to terrorize the last in the coastline and beyond. It's actually pretty cool that you can get so many black arcs. In addition, his arms enjoy a 50% upkeep cost reduction for any Black Arc Crusaders they recruit. In place of the usual Black Arc Rite, he can perform a sacrifice to Anathema, granting Black Arc Crusaders the cost Fear and Stock traits, plus bonus AP missile damage, and conferring bonus armor to Caribidises. So, Black Arc Crusaders with Stock and extra AP missile damage. I am a fan of hand bows, the Black Arc hand bows that kite around. And having extra, he is the Kraken Lord, so the Kraken Lord I think it does give that to the regular lords. It's pretty cool. You might not got the full flavor Black Arc Crusader army, because the Black Arc Crusaders are not really a full unit. That unit does not have the health of our real unit. You can't really go full army of Black Arc Crusaders. You might struggle against certain things, but you can definitely use a couple of them to kite while the enemy is approaching you. Like have a regular Dark Elf army and then use like 4, 5, 6 hand bows. To, in the same manner, you would use the Wave Watchers on Deepwood Scouts to, you know, drag the enemy army towards your battle line. But early game, the Black Arc Crusaders are solid, and being cheaper, the moment you get those battle skills, they'll kill early game units. Lokhir Fellheart is not technically part of the II patch and must be downloaded for the Steam page here. So you will not get these guys available. You will have to click these to add to your Steam library. What accompanies anyways, it's a anti-large Hydra without a breath and regeneration. You see this in the back. Campaign changes. Heinrich Hammer start position update. Moved Heinrich Hammer to Blackstone Post and Empress with new faction, the Battle Legion, removing him from the Vampire Counts faction. So now the Vampire Counts have the Glorious Gorst and the Greatest Sorcerer, Manfred. Made Hammer's army immune to non-vampire territory attrition. Made Blackstone Post capital of Northern Grey Mountains province, the Mortal Empire. This is a nice change. My favorite changes in the game are when they do changes to the campaign map, add new regions. It's my favorite change. Add new landmarks. Just, you know, polish the campaign map more. There's so many things, you know, that still requires fixing. Like deserts are present in jungle territories. Jungles look like deserts. Some of the battlefields. Hopefully that will get fixed eventually. The jungle in the bottom left and some other territories still need work. Some of the areas mis-resourced in my opinion, like the Southland jungle in the Southlands where the Teotihuacan is. There is no resource there. It makes no sense to have no resource there. It should be like a dice there or exotic animals or something. Like give some incentive to go there. And of course more landmarks. Always nice to see more landmarks. Added base level of Vampiric Corruption to Northern Grey Mountains, Baston, and Forest of Arden provinces. So you're telling me there's gonna be some Vampiric Corruption in Montfort and that small region in the Forest of Arden. So the vampires is gonna have some presence there. Campaign map changes. Is it Gisaru the region? My Bretonnian sucks. Campaign map changes. Added Heart of the Jungle Province and Bowman of Orion AI faction to Mortal Empress campaign. This is nice. So now between the Karak Zorn and Kasabar there is Bowman of Orion. There is actually a reason for Wood Elves to travel there. Yes, if you've seen my recent Argonauts campaign, we're actually in Southlands, but other than building outposts there, it was like nothing of value for the Wood Elves. Added a Land of the Dervishes province and Southernberg AI faction to the Mortal Empress campaign. Adjust other provinces and settlements to accommodate these changes. More regions. I love when they add new settlements. So Southernberg is now in Moral Empires. Does this mean somebody can go down there eventually, like Gelt? Can you imagine starting an Empire campaign down there? Added Chupayotl settlement to the Headhunter Jungle province in Moral Empire's campaign, owned by Lokhir Fellheart. So now the Headhunter Jungle has 4 regions. Pretty strong scheme province now. Added the Galleon's Graveyard province in both Eye of the Vortex and Mortal Empire's campaign. Is that settlement, you know, if you can call it a settlement, in the middle of the ocean. So what do we have here? Faction select and ordering changes. The reordered faction in the campaign faction select screen. Basic game faction shown first, followed by the newest DLC in order, or Warhammer 2, then Warhammer 1 factions. A reordered faction in the custom battle faction selection drop-down menu to match with campaign's new ordering. Reordered factions enter ordering to match with the faction selection screen when starting a new campaign. Little factions go first, followed by minor factions, followed by other unique faction types. This actually will affect the campaign in a way, because some actions acting ahead can definitely mess up with your plans or make things inconvenient. Like your enemy acting before your ally, and so you can have war coordination director or ally getting in the way. Legendary Lord and faction bonus changes. Oh boy, we get into the good stuff. So High Elves, Tyrion, his faction now has plus 30 diplomacy with High Elf factions. This is new. Minus 100% build time on Shrine of Cain building. What the? Minus 100%? So he builds in 1 turn. Because you know that settlement gets often raised. Plus 3 recruit rank for the Lord and Sea Guard. Now we can pretty much recruit in rank 9 in Lothern. Up at the calculator. Come on, Sujek, we don't need to calculate anything. Minus 100% means, you know, it's off by minus 100%. Morathi, Dark Elves. Minus 50% upkeep for heroes and hero action costs. Change from minus 50% hero action costs. Wow. Morathi is gonna go crazy with heroes. She already had the game. What is this game telling you with this? The game is telling you should use extra heroes in the armies, like the Dead Hags, and you should use extra heroes on the campaign map. Just recruit everything and be a nightmare to your enemies. The hero harassment and the heroes in the armies with Wood Elves is pretty strong. So she's the master of harassment, the Morathi, with this thing. Because this is reduced by 90% with a specialist. Minus 25% construction cost for sorcery buildings. Move from Lord to faction effects. Okay, Skaven Tretch, Lord, plus 3 melee attack during ambushes. Move from faction to Lord effects. So it's only for Tretch now. This is nothing special, guys. It's not even ever was any relevant. Melee attack doesn't do anything on the Warplating Cannons and the Plague Catapults, you know what I mean. Skarsnik has plus 14 charge bonus, Night Goblin Squeak Hoppers. Ooh, nice. So, in Skarsnik army, you definitely want some Night Goblin Squeak Hoppers. You want the Masochists to play the Night Goblin Squeak Hoppers. Before they fix the Bella skills on the Skarsnik, the Bella skill used to buff all the goblins. Some of them would triple dip. You would have a unit of Night Goblin Squeak Hoppers, absolute killer of infantry. Ever since they added them full armor piercing there, instead of just some armor piercing anti-infantry. With all these buffs, you could get them like over 70 charge with some really crazy attack. And with veterancy, I've seen a unit of Night Goblin Squeak Hoppers destroy a unit of Iron Breakers in like 30 seconds before the fixes. Of course, we will never see that again, but plus 14 charge bonus is still pretty nice for the Night Goblin Squeak Hoppers. The Squeak Hoppers are anti-infantry and they have armor piercing. In a way, this is one of the top cavalry units for the greenskins, but this is not saying much really. It's a little bit embarrassing. Those peaks with their mass and their toughness, you know, should be way more threatening in my opinion. Vampire counts, Heinrich Kammler. Faction, suitable climate mountains, so he likes the mountains. So I guess you're gonna be taking, if you're gonna be staying in that area, you're gonna be taking the Grey Mountains. Maybe even the Southern Grey Mountains, maybe even the Volts and the Black Mountains. Plus 30 diplomacy to Beastmen and Warriors of Chaos. Is this because of Krell? Krell was the champion of Chaos, but he got risen as an undead lord. And he's basically the servant of Nagash. And Krell thinks Kammler thinks he controls Krell, but through Krell, you know, Nagash has plans. He's waiting. Krell Krell serves Nagash. So he's kind of like a puppet of Nagash, and I don't think he even knows it. Minus 25% raise dead cost removed. And they removed the raise dead cost. But it was not even relevant that much. Minus 50% upkeep Necromancers for minus 25%. So we're gonna have cheap Necromancers. Yeah. Hellman Gorst. Faction. Plus 30% research, up from 10%. Also move to correct faction affect position now. Were they crazy giving Gorst more research? The vampire technology is so powerful, the vampire snowball out of control with those technologies. You know, I always thought how slow is to research the vampire technology was their downside. So they don't just, you know, snowball so fast to murder everybody. Vampire counts vampires in one of the most powerful factions in the game, and getting all that research faster is quite crazy. Getting the corruption spread around, and getting all those technologies for your units up faster as well. With that economy, tier 4 and tier 5 buildings, when you save it and you get all that money, like when there's like no limits. It doesn't say he buffs replenishment here. Did they remove the replenishment buff, or they forgot to put the line here? Where's the plus 20% replenishment? They removed the 20% replenishment. Plus 3 corpse card recruit rank, plus 12% corpse card charge. The corpse card rank and charge bonus is irrelevant. Those units can deal any damage. I guess it's still there. And as the Lord, he always now have poison attacks. Nice. Hellman Gorst is a no-brain. The top choice when you're starting a Vampire Counts campaign. You will unlock Manfred anyways, and Manfred effects are not that special. The good thing he had was the campaign movement 5%, which was now boosted to 10%. The rest is nothing special in my opinion. 30% research and 20% replenishment is insane. 20% replenishment alone in the climate system, the mountains, and the other yellow and red climate, the 20% replenishment kinda say, what climate? We're not affected by the climate, we have Gorst. We replenish anywhere, and we replenish with the bonus. So with Hellman Gorst, what climate? You're not affected by the climate penalty to replenishment. And climate replenishment can be a big penalty depending where you expand. I think there's gonna be not enough ways to get that extra blood keys. 1 blood keys versus 30% research, come on. You will not see me start with Manfred ever. I love Manfred. I love Manfred almost as much as I love Karl Franz. But I will never start with any of these lords as a starting lord. Isabella von Karstein plus 1 blood kills in campaign. Start new and move for faction to lord effects. Undying Law plus 7 melee defense and melee attack when Vlad and Isabella reinforce each other. Manfred von Karstein. So faction plus 10% campaign movement range. It's actually nice. He pretty much gets extra route march to everybody. But that research and the replenishment on Gorst beats 10% campaign range anytime. Plus 2 recruit rank Graveguard and Black Knights. I mean, Merit, you can always get that blood kiss later. That initial blood thirst is, I don't think it's worth as the how much technology and the replenishment you get in a big campaign in the long game. Long game, Gorst is always better than Manfred as starting lord. So recruit rank for the Graveguard and the Black Knights up from 1, so plus 2. Cheaper upkeep on the Graveguard. It's all irrelevant. This campaign movement range is nice. I don't. This 2 is like always been meh. Plus 1 blood keys. You basically start with additional 1 in the beginning, so you start with 1 early, but you can get them always later on. Plus 10 leadership versus men up from 5. That is nice. Plus 30 Winds of Magic reserve. Oh boy. Plus 30 the greatest sorcerer. What's the Manfred says? I am the greatest sorcerer. I find Manfred the second best wizard in the game. Vlad von Karsten, so they buffed the campaign wound range everywhere it seems. It's plus 10% now here as well. He also starts with a blood keys. Plus 30 to diplomacy with Arkham the Black, all Vampire counts and Vampire Coast factions. So here's a nice diplomacy boost with all the vampires. Lord Undying Love plus 50 melee attack, melee defense, and Vlad and Isabella reinforce each other. Moved from faction to. This is actually a nice change, very good change. Almost feels like they know what they're doing. Norska. Trog faction plus 50% physical resistance from trolls up for plus 10%. More buff for trolls. I love trolls. Minus 20% upkeep for trolls, up from minus 15%. Wolfric has a faction change here. Minus 20% upkeep for Marauders, up from minus 10. This is not his only bonus, he has more bonuses. And Lord has plus 30% reinforcement range, up from plus 20%. This is not the whole list, this is just what they changed. Oh boy, look at that. Albrecht, the governor of Marienburg. I can't go that U, English U. Governor, blood. Minus 1 recruitment time for cavalry, new. Plus 25% income from trade, up from 5%. So instead of getting that plus 1, 2, 3 gold from the extra from tariffs, you are now gonna get plus 20 extra gold from tariffs. Plus 10 melee defense for Knights of the Realm. That's actually quite nice for the early game. Having Knights of the Realm with more melee defense on him. Income from trade is a garbage set, yeah, pretty much. And it only buffs the tariffs, not the whole trade. If it buffed the value of the resources and the tariffs at the same time, now that would be powerful. Buffing tariffs hidden into trade, they renamed this and make it even more confusing than before. And the trade being glitched in the game as it is, the long-term partnership stops increasing and never start increasing at all. Trade has serious issues in this game. The resource value sometimes shift for no reason apparent. and bugged long-term partnerships. It's like, if the long-term partnerships are not bugged, you do not even need trade tariffs in the game. Because a trade route with over 1,000 can give you much more than trade tariffs would ever give you. If the income from trade would increase the value of the resources as well as the tariffs, it would actually be valuable. This is a trash start. Luan Lanker faction plus 3% order size all characters when attacking, up from 25%. That's that blue circle they have for the extra leadership to the units nearby. Lord plus 8 melee attack versus enemies of the lady. What? What does this mean? Enemies of the lady? This is not confusing at all. Plus 20 leadership versus the enemies of the lady. Does it mean like chaos or something? Okay. Empire. Oh shit. The factions you get tax for. Battles of Geld faction minus 50% upkeep reduction for Battle Wizard, up from 25%. Hell yeah! Plus 2 Wizard Agent Cap up from 1. Hell yeah! Minus 20% Winds of Magic cost. For what? Who cares? It's just metal. Plus 10% artillery missile damage. Hell yeah! Whiter Grill, no less chill. What the hell? What the hell does this mean? Karl Franz, Prince and Emperor. Plus 10% campaign moon range up from 5%, minus 15% rising and great sword upkeep up from 10%, plus 30 diplomacy with Emperor faction up from 10, move to correct faction effects position now. Lord now gives plus 8 leadership to the army up from plus 2. This is actually going to be a big change for the AI getting that extra 6 leadership. But his starting effects are nothing special. Same as Manfred. This campaign movement range is irrelevant compared to what Geld gives. Geld is the must pick because of the global armor increase. Okay, what do we have for Volkmar here? Minus 30% upgrade for the Flagellants, up from minus 15%, and plus 10% Ancillary drop chance, up from 10%. What does this mean? Items, followers. Lord plus 30% casualty replenishment for the Flagellants, plus 30% physical resistance for the Flagellants, plus 40 mil defense for the Flagellants. So Volkmar has now a flavor for the Flagellants, but it doesn't mean you need to start with him. This is trash effect. So even if you don't start with Volkmar, you can still go with the Flagellant flavor. So you can still go a Volkmar Flagellant flavor. You don't have to start with him to go this flavor. This upkeep reduction for the Flagellants is a joke. Extra 10 armor for the Flagellants. Come on, guys. Extra armor for the Flagellants if you start with Geld. Who cares about upkeep reduction? So if you want Volkmar and you want Volkmar with flavor with Flagellants, start with Geld. Geld will buff the armor on the Flagellants, and you still get buff for the Flagellants, melee defense and physical resistance in his army, so you can have even better. So starting with Geld, Volkmar has even better Flagellants and Flagellants flavor. There is no point starting with Volkmar ever. Ever, no point. You could go with some Flagellant flavor, considering Volkmar can be a powerful tank, but the battles will be bloody. So if you want bloody battles with flavor, why not? Oh boy, what do we have here? The Papa Grimgor. Faction plus 10% movement range up from 5%. Looks like all the main faction got this extra movement range buff. And more upkeep reduction for the Black Orcs. I mean, Black Orcs is your most important unit, so upkeep reduction is pretty big deal, and it's faction wide. So this is pretty good. You're gonna be spamming Black Orcs anyways. The Black Orcs is your most important unit. So this is quite nice. And plus 10% campaign movement range. This one actually makes sense to start with. This is actually pretty strong for the greenskins. Lord, plus 12 leadership for the Black Orcs up to plus 6. Oh my god, what the hell the Black Orcs gonna do with all that leadership? Extra armor for the Black Orcs plus 10 instead of plus 5. And they added plus 30% post-battle loot, so Grimgo gets more money after battles. This is really solid for Grimgor. I like this change. More money, even more movement range, and more money when you start spamming Black Orcs. This is great. And the Black Crag is meant to spam Black Orcs. I'm very happy about this. This is good stuff. What do we have on Azak? Plus 25% sacking income after 10%. The sacking is a way for the greenskins to get a ridiculous treasure. You can get even like up to 1 million gold if you continue to sack big places. Plus 25% research, up from 10%. What the hell? -1 construction time settlements new, and -1% construction cost settlements. So settlements build up fast and they're cheaper. What the hell is this shit? Aura size on the Lord? Come on, Azak. Azak, you have that magic, but you are still an embarrassment. I'll go with Grimgor. No thanks, Azak. Bye bye. Wurzak, -3% recruit cost for the Savage Orcs. So it recruits even cheaper Savage Orcs. Dwarves, we have Torgrim here. Torgrim did not have impressive bonuses before. I don't look impressive anymore again still. So it was up from 15% to 75%. So this aura size is huge now for the low greenskin units. For the dwarves it's overkill. The dwarves don't need that much leadership as the greenskins do. -25% military recruitment building cost, up from -10%. So military buildings cost 25% cheaper now. You might feel this in a couple of first few provinces. So you can recruit rank 3 hammers. If you start plus 30 diplomacy with dwarves. I mean, dwarves they never had problems doing diplomacy with all the dwarves as long as the Karakiran didn't go crazy too early. Cheaper upkeep on the hammers and the longbeards, up from 10%, it was 15% before. I don't like Thorgrim's faction effects, never liked it. I love Thorgrim, but his faction effects are bad. His lord effect is bad. This shit makes no sense. These units in his army is gonna be a main army. It's never gonna have leadership problems, and they increase aura size. All these things is absolutely unnecessary in the dwarves, but I guess it goes with his flavor. This is gonna make it easier for the new people to play this. Ungrim, -3% slayer recruitment cost, up to minus, so that we can recruit cheaper slayers. Faction. -75% reconstruction cost for the slayer and the Legmar buildings new. What the hell is up with the recruitment costs? When gonna sort these recruitment costs? Recruitment costs don't matter much. If the units are cheap, they don't cost much. If the units cost like 2,000-3,000, some of them, the recruitment costs would make sense. It's all about the upkeeps. This is not multiplayer that the cost of the units matters. It's all about upkeep. And with dwarves no less. Unless the units cost gets, they increase the global unit costs like 200-300 for each unit, the recruitment costs will never be relevant. For the Lord, he gives extra attack for the Slayers. Holy shit! This means you can have giant Slayers with over 90 melee attack. Oh my god. I think it's gonna have over 90 melee attack. Plus 30% casualty replenishment for the Slayers, so he immediately has extra replenishment for the Slayers. Hell yeah! Is this additional upkeep reduction for the Slayers? Oh man, the Slayer King. I need 5 minutes alone with this. I love my Slayers. It looks like there is no longer faction wide. This looks nerfed, yeah. But other than the Slayer King's army, you're not gonna be using more than 1 or 2 Slayers in the army. Belegar, plus 10 leadership versus Skaven and Greenskins. This has been added. And they removed the tunnel evasion chance. Yeah, this is a little bit confusing. Grombrandal, plus 6% tunnel evasion chance, up from 40% for the whole faction. For the whole faction, plus 10% weapon strength to all units versus elves, new. Plus 10 armed leadership for the Grombrandal's army and bigger reinforcement range. Grombrandal is the lord you want to start a dwarf campaign with. Because of this special event. You never want to start with Torgrim. Torgrim's faction effects are too weak compared to Grombrandal. Grombrandal is a dwarf of legend anyways. This is a High King. High King is important, but Grombrandal, you can easily unlock Torgrim. That event Grombrandal has is too powerful to ever pick Torgrim as your starting lord. And this is just, it's like, almost feel like they reached into trash and they just pulled shit out of it and just added a bunch of shit on this. This is like nothing really any relevant. That event is too powerful. Chaos. Oh, what do we have here? Archaeon. I love Archaeon. Plus 10 Chaos Warrior leadership. Who cares? You're gonna use like Chaos Warriors for 5 minutes. Minus 30% recruit cost for Chaos Warriors. Psh, you're never gonna start with Archaeon. Look at these faction effects, man. I am so glad these are so shitty, because you never want to start with Archaeon. I am so glad these faction effects are a pile of crap. Shit. So glad they're so bad, because who cares about this, and you never start with Archaeon anyways. Lord effect plus 50% raise income up to 25%. Holy shit! You get shitload of money with Archaeon. Plus 5% ward save for all units. Hell yeah! Change from Chaos Knights on physical. So the whole army gets ward save. This will make Archaeon even more powerful as the AI. Guys, I have to tell you, I'm super happy he has a shitty faction effects. Because you don't start with Archaeon. You don't start with Kolek. You start with Sigvald. You start with Sigvald. Plus 15 armor for lords and bad heroes. Come on, man. Sigvald. Sigvald is hard to unlock. Look at this faction effect. There is only Sigvald. Until they split Chaos in multiple faction, you start with Sigvald. Don't ever start with Archaeon or Kolek. They're easy to unlock. Kolek now gives extra Chaos Corruption and even cheaper recruitment of Dragon Ogres. Who cares the shitty faction effects? This is bad and this is really bad. Plus 15 armor for all lords and bad heroes. Hell yeah! Now that is really good. You know why? Because the legendary lords of the Chaos are monsters. They're supposed to be super powerful, and you want to build them as strong as possible. Archaeon, Kolek and Sigvald. An additional 15 armor on top of everything they already get. Hell yeah! This is shit and this is shit. Always start with Sigvald. Plus 15 leadership versus man up from 5. This is for the whole faction. Plus 3 horde growth up from 1. Oh, you don't even need to unlock the growth tech anymore. Oh man, Sigvald, why do you have to be so perfect? Why do you have to be so perfect? And once you build up this thing, you can just switch to Kolek or Archaeon in his horde and give them the new horde. Sigvald is so perfect. I love him. No homo. Sigvald is amazing. Amazing. This is so shit. These guys are just for the legendary lords for the lord effects and his armies. For the faction effect, you get Sigvald. Starting with extra growth, come on, man. Why would you ever start with Archaeon or Kolek compared to this? Upkeep reduction, who cares about Marauders, man? I'll get Chaos Warriors on turn 5. Plus 15 armor and plus 3 growth. Oh man, we're gonna have to play Seagull, guys. I can see a Seagull campaign coming. And we're going to play with Colic, because they changed Colic's ward save. We'll see how strong Colic is since the nerfs. Warriors of Chaos campaign is planned, boys. It's coming. It's coming. Starting with Seagull, of course. You don't want to start with this shit. Colic and Archaean faction effects. Okay. Wood Elves. Don't we have a picture of Seagull somewhere? So we can link it in chat. Wood Elves. Ooh, look at that. We recently played an Argolan campaign where I started using a Durkul flavor army. You want me to read this shit, wizard? Don't let me read this. Yeah. Durtu has now plus 10 charge bonus for Dryads. 10 charge bonus for Dryads is pretty good. And Dryads, in my flavor army with Durtu, I don't use archers. I use Dryads, 3 kin, 3 men, Spellsinger, and a Forest Dragon. And also a cheaper upkeep for the Dryads, 3 kin and 3 men in Durtu's army. I have a flavor army Durtu. I use only the Forest Spirits. Charge for Dryads, excellent. And cheaper army. This is great. Great. Durtu is one of the most powerful things in the game. And I like to have flavor with him, with Forest Spirits. Do not underestimate the Dryads, guys. Do not underestimate the Dryads. I tried to get bloody. By recruiting a bunch of Dryads and just using them to kill the enemy. You know what happened? They were never dying. They were just killing the enemy. We never got bloody. What do we have here? Orion faction minus 20% upkeep for all cavalry changed from just viable riders minus 20% upkeep. Plus 8 charge bonus for light riders and plus 10% weapon strength for wild riders. So they want you to use extra wild riders here. I don't really like to get extra wild riders unless you get extra racer standards. Morkar, we played Chaos 3 times this year. We have only this issue once. But you can find the items anyways. Armor of Destiny, Sword of Bloodshed, Talisman of Preservation, and the Chalice of Chaos. There are plenty of items. Oh boy, look at this. What were we talking about 2 weeks ago? Or was it last week? Khazrak. Plus 40% raid bonus for the faction, up from 10%. Plus 10 leadership to versus men, up from 5. Irrelevant faction bonuses. But they got buffed. But no longer reducing upkeep, recruitment cost by 4% and 30% for the Vestigors. Now upkeep is getting reduced and they get more experience. And even bigger upkeep recruitment reduction on Vestigors. It's like it's almost like we were saying these things gonna be happening last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? This the faction bonus is pretty bad. Malagor has amazing faction bonus. Look at this: 2 Brave Shamans, plus 30 diplomacy with this faction, plus 2 Horde growth. This one is amazing. With extra 2 Brave Shamans, Malagor is become even better as a starting Beastman Lord. Unless they split the Beastman Lord into factions, the other Beastmen are easy to unlock. Go with Malagor. Malagor is amazing as a starting Lord. Plus 3 Brave Shaman recruit rank. And lowers the enemy replenishment by 8% local points. Also enemy leadership local points. Oh my god. Malagor is amazing. And you get extra 9. You can actually... Ooh, this gives me ideas, guys. This gives me ideas. Stack negative leadership. Create Isabella army. -8, -17. Minus 20 with 4, 5, 6 heroes. We can lower the enemy leadership by 40. Malagor is amazing as starting lord. You should never start with Morgul or Khazar. These are amazing effects. And I am so glad they changed the faction effects and the lord effects. The Beastman had the worst in the game. The worst in the game. And this is looking much better now. I see definitely a Malagor campaign in the future again. I love playing the Beastman. And we're gonna be staking fear, guys. We're gonna be staking negative enemy leadership, fear and terror. This is amazing. I was already talking about staking the negative leadership, but with the additional 8, maybe they remove the skill, who knows. Morgur now has only 30% extra up for Minotaurs. And 30% upkeep reduction for the Chaos Spawn. Plus 3 Chaos Corruption spread up from plus 2. This is like who cares, man? We don't even care about this. Beastman upkeeps. Plus 12 Chaos Corruption territory up from 8%. So they will, instead of taking 3 casualties, they'll be taking 4 casualties. Okay, so we'll take 20 turns to kill into Swordsman. And look at this, guys. What was I saying last time? Morgur should get his stuff for Chaos Spawn on his Lord effects. You know, to make him keep him closer to the Warhammer 2 stuff. And look at this. Plus 8 Chaos Spawn melee defense, plus 10% missile resistance for the Chaos Spawn. I'm really excited about this. Sigvald, oh man, I'm gonna need some time off with this. Super happy about this as well. Sigvald and Malagor. This might make definitely Beastman enter top 5 for me. Okay, what's next? Vampire counts changes. Vampire counts heroes. Move the White King to level 2 binding circle building chain from level 3. So the White King is now level 2. Very nice. Very nice. Iron Root on legendary difficulty, the enemy has 90% reduction, over 90% reduction to the Chaos Corruption. So they take about, on a full unit, about 2% Chaos Corruption. So instead of 2, they'll taking 3 or 4. If you ever play on Legendary, you would have noticed the Chaos Corruption, the AI is not affected by it. So any buffs to the Chaos Corruption and Chaos Corruption attrition are next to pointless. Unless they lower that base a little, which in my opinion they should, at least 10%. That is too high. Okay, what do we have here? White King is ranked level 2. Oh man, there was one White King giving us so much grief in our Kalidas campaign. Caused a big setback for us. Added plus 2 White King hero recruit rank on level 3. Nice. Give me more hero recruit ranks. This is good stuff. Good stuff. Added ability to recruit Necromancer heroes to level 2 Boneyard building chain. Oh my god. Wait, what? Can do that. Plus 1 and plus 2. Oh man. I need to get some water, guys. Just give me a few minutes. Just 2 minutes. I have tears in my eyes. Okay, boys. I love vampire counts, one of my favorite factions. And to see stuff like this, changes like this, wow. Makes me, it's like, it's pretty much this. Let's click the wrong video. It's pretty much this, boys. This is pretty much me with seeing that vampire count stuff. It's like, can you, how to make this? This is like, and then you remember the greenskins in this game, and and you just have to see this and just get your mind on the greenskins, man. What is the greenskin update? What the fuck are they doing with the greenskins? The vampires were already perversion level stuff. Where the greenskins? Why the greenskins never good? Can't make vampires so powerful and ignore the greenskins. The shit is wrong. That shit is wrong. This is some crazy changes here to the heroes. Okay. I wanna play greenskins. I wanna play Green God. I wanna enjoy the game. They give steroids to the vampires, where the greenskins are left in the shit. Reduced all nightmare and barred nightmare mounts to be unlocked on level 5. Reduced all Hellstead mounts to be unlocked at level 10. Reduced all Zombie Dragon mount to be unlocked at level 20. Reduced all Corsair mounts to be unlocked at level 10. This is a huge buff to Necromancers. The Necromancers get so many useful skills when you get the extra battery and extra spells, and you just had to wait a long time to get it, the Unholy Lodestone. Now you get it like 8 ranks faster or 6 ranks faster. This is perversions. Vampire count takes are at 3. Guys, what the dwarf update was like certainly 1% of this shit. The forge is amazing, but holy shit, so much love for the vampires. Oh my god. Makes you wonder if they're just gonna add more cheater technologies when they update greenskins. The vampire counts, this is absurd. These changes, man. Can't even compare it to anything they've done before to a faction. Added 3 new techs: Rotten Flesh, the Ravenous Dead, includes new ability the Ravenous Dead, and Unnatural Strength. They don't say what these techs do though. Added effects to all 4 initial branching techs. So there are 4 groups of techs, and the first technology when you are locked in that group was not giving any bonuses. Now the Book of Archon, Liber Necronomica, something here, Blasphemous Bestiary, and the Lamia Book of Blood actually gives some buffs as well. So even the first technology now gives buffs. The vampires had a very long research time in the past, and they would just really snowball with their technology pretty much. Looking forward to see all these changes in the game. After seeing all this shit for the vampires, oh man, it's like, it makes me feel all bad and depressed about the greenskins state. Just like, why they leave greenskin in a pile of shit? Why did they leave greenskin in a pile of shit? Rework, reduce research time, and reorder numerous techs related to zombies and skeletons within Book of Archon tech branch. You can get them like faster. Increased Enshrine Ancient Lord's Iteration bonus to 30%. Not even sure what this means. General campaign changes and fixes. Blessed spawnings for Lisbon now trigger as intended. What was it, like nearly a year since this was released? Loyalty dilemmas for Dark Elves now trigger. In some cases they might now trigger too often. We are currently balancing their frequency. So it's gonna be ninja patched. But these guys, this is like... Every time I see stuff like this, I check the calendar. Fix several rare end turn crashes. Shit Wizard, I can already see it in 2 days when we start the Vampire Coast. You're going to be posting something in chat like next update waiting room. Wake me up when it arrives. Or Resident Sleeper. We having something like that ready? Fixed a rare instance where the player could end turn before the campaign fly over and had finished, resulting in a crash. I haven't really experienced this stuff. Then again, some stuff is happens really rare. We had the most bizarre thing that we had was Ungrim Iron Fist crashing our game. We had a Skaven army fighting Ungrim Iron Fist and it would crash the game every time. The Tier 3 and Tier 4 Dark Elf entertainment buildings can now be constructed by those who do not own the Queen and the Crown. Fortress Games. What? Fortress Gates. Scamblight, Hellpit, and occupied Alien colonies can now be upgraded by those who do not own Tomb Kings. Sister of Slaughter now recruited from Tier 3 Halls of Ravaging. Skeleton Warriors and Skeleton Spearmen are now available to recruit from the Infantry Level 1 Building Open Graves. Used to be only for Skeleton Warriors and Zombies, now the Skeleton Spearmen as well. Skeleton Spearmen used to be Tier 2. Lords will now correctly be removed from the army when wounded by attrition. Lords can get wounded by attrition? What the hell? I've been sailing through deep seas and the maelstroms and everything and never get wounded. Now it can happen? Oh boy. Fixed various instances of lines in diplomacy being delivered without consideration of the character's gender. Oh man, that's very important to fix. We don't want any inappropriate, you know, classifications. Fixed a rare instance where ambush could be discovered when armies were not near the ambush. Oh my god, this is big. This is big. This might be big, or this might just be, you know, something trivial, but I feel like sometimes they discover you with a spy satellite, and not just because somebody's there. But this could mean really big here. Thorgrim's grudge against undead skill now also applies to Tomb Kings. Okay. The overcast version of Command of the Unliving has been added to the campaign. Fixed all engaged force army invading mission condition. What the? Mission conditions, so they will now trigger. I have no idea what this is, but you know, it will work now. Fix Hellbrand's early game mission to upgrade Hargonet to point at the incorrect region. Fixed Alaris early game mission to upgrade Gain Vale with the correct building requirements. Boris Thoughtbringer now has access to Imperial Pegasus in Imperial Griffon mounts in campaign. Hell yeah! Good old Boris will fly on Imperial Griffon. Boris Thoughtbringer now has Midland, Runefang, and White Glove Ulrika starting campaign magic items. Oh boy, something is happening in Midland. Something is brewing. Moved Clan Ashen faction leader to Axlotl from Marks of the Old One's element in Mortal Emperor's campaign. Okay, so he's gonna be starting in a closer to the other side. So he's not too close to Teclis or Lokhir. Clan Ashen now has control of Axolotl settlement from start of the Mortal Empire's campaign. I think it was controlled by Itza before. Or one of the Lizardmen. I haven't really spent that much many time campaigns in the Lastria. Reduce the initial army strength of the Southern Sentinels in the Vortex campaign. Skagi's landmark building can once again be constructed. What do you mean once again? You ninja patched this shit and unfixed it and now you're fixing it again? High Elf Wood Resource buildings now also affect Shadow Warriors and Sisters of Avalon. Yeah, so they get more experience and they're cheaper to recruit. Dark Elf Pasture Resource building now also affect Doomfire Warlocks. Hopefully not by the AI. You know, playing Mazdamundi and you see AI recruiting 10 Marauder champions and it's like turn 10. That's probably what it means, Booker. Dark Elf Medicine Resource buildings now also affect Sisters of Slaughter, okay. So they're just, you know, making missing connections here. You know, stuff like this, when you see stuff like this, you hope they actually fix the Wood Elf armor. I reported the Wood Elf armor bug and the bug to the Blood Knights technology like 5 months ago. Maybe it's somewhere in here. Or maybe it's just ninja patched, we have to see it in the campaign. Bretonia can now construct their own variant of the... Oh my god, what the hell is this word? Arc Ecclesiatium of Myrmidia. Is this in the capitals of the Southern Realms? Arch Ecclesiatium. Mamba Jump. Over media now gives more corruption reduction in public order. Fancy place of learning. The Coron tournament grounds income is no longer affected by farm buildings. It's a very long word. Really hard to read that. Mamba Jumbo word smork. The Tower of Hoyt correctly applies these bonuses to Sword Masters and Battle Wizards now. What? Battle Wizards? You mean mages? Or the Lore Masters? What the hell? Battle Wizards are Empire heroes, not High Elf heroes. Battle Wizards confirmed, guys, for the High Elves. The Dark Elf Daylight Denied technology now affects the income of the correct buildings. Oh my god, I didn't even know this was bugged. The Dark Elf Harness Fury technology now also affects Carabiris units. The Dark Elf Hardship and Cruelty and Mass of Murder technologies now also affect Doomfire Warlock units. Oh man, just one second, guys, 1 second. Various High Elf technologies now also affect Sisters of Avalon and Shadow Warriors. Various High Elf technologies, okay, so they get even better Sisters of Avalon. They probably forgot to put them on reload and missile damage and ammunition, and now they put them back. The Vampire Decipher and Hekara manuscripts and Incantation of Nagash now properly increase the income of the associated buildings. Ooh. Just one moment, guys. The vampiric evocation delusion of grandeur no longer incorrectly affects Blood Knights. Holy shit, I reported this! They fixed it! Oh my god. Not ignored! Not ignored! I exist! I exist! I reported this shit. I reported this shit. Alder now has a proper garrison occupied by dwarves, greenskins. The pyramid of Nagash now has a proper garrison occupied by Skaven, Lizardmen, Dark Elves. Increased priority of High Elf, Dragon Princes, Bolt Throwers, and Chariots in garrisons. Fixed Wolfric's innate reinforcement range bonus being applied twice. Fix some Norse events using Chaos event pictures of Norse specific ones. Fix the number of effects that were not applying to the correct unit rank restrictions. Fixed army upkeep penalty not showing for Norska. So they do have army upkeep penalty. Fixed Dark Elf Source Beast Hero using Lord Magic skills. So it's a nerf. Fix Dark Elf Supreme Source that Lord using Hero Magic skills. So the Supreme Sources that now it's has proper skills. Fix Tomb Kings the Hot Right not applying unit recruitment rank bonus in local recruitment. Thank you. We just finished a Tomb King campaign. So it was just buffing global recruitment. Now it also works for the local recruitment. Oh boy. Looking even better now. Fix the largest spiritual defender applying melee defense instead of melee attack to cease to outrun units. Fix the Voice of Chaos quest not triggering the advisor was not available. Okay. They fixed it, boys. They fixed it. Fix the Dark Elf Assassin Sharp Darkness skill not reducing vigor loss correctly. How did they even know it was not reducing it correctly? Who tested this shit? Fix the Hand Menace resistant trait not applying its effects properly. Fix Auron, Treatment, Dryad, Stricken, and Shadow Walker's recruitment issues. Fix Trigger Terrorgast mount transferring issue. Okay, this one was a bit hilarious. Fixed missing immortality skill on Norse Marauder Chieftains. Fixed missing attrition immunity for some. Holy shit, guys! There's a lot of fixes here. Makes you wonder what's gonna be fixing in 6 months. Change second bonus to raising bonus in the eye opens wider a dilemma for Warriors of Chaos. Change Heinrich Kammer's Chaos Tomb Blade effects, removing the Skeleton Warrior's upkeep reduction and replacing with Chaos attrition immunity. Ooh. Fixed Norse creature armies being able to occupy settlements. Fixed a rare softlock where a Lila Star of Avalon quest would not start if she had been confederated. Bray Herds and Was no longer feature lords and heroes as regular units. No more cloning of Malagor, Morgur and Khazrak. You know, there's an impressive list here, guys, and we might need to read it again. But hopefully half of this issue has been fixed, hopefully. Fixed a rare case where the player could not declare war on the critical Mutants Gates faction if they had re-emerged. Fixed Kolok's unique skill and quest item not applying replenishment bonus correctly. Finally. Fixed 3-spirit building chain not appearing in Crack Halls of Indol. Fixed 4-spirit building chain not appearing in Vidriot. Fixed Leather Shine tier 5 having lower untamed effect than tier 4 buildings. Fixed inconsistent population requirements for Wood Elf settlements, Savage Orc Minor settlements, and Savage Orc and Norse Open settlements. Black Crag, Karakate Peaks, and Karazakarak. Fixed Norse technology granting mortality to all characters, including garrison commanders, rather than distinguishing between lords and heroes. Fixed Wurzak's Squiggly Beast Stage 2 mission not accepting other Night Goblin variants. Fixed a number of minor settlements having more than 4 building slots. What? Fixed a number of minor settlements having more than 4 building slots. What the hell? Somebody had that issue? Never heard of this before. 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 Never heard of this before Fixed Wood Elf technology. Liliad the Maiden not applying magic against all units. God, come on, don't scare him like that, game. They almost fixed the armor. Reinstated upgraded version of command of the Unliving for Strigoi Ghoul Kings. Unit stats now show context bonuses. Example, improved melee attack when fighting against Bretonia when appropriate on pre-battle skills in campaign. Okay, nice. The Rite of Slaughter can now be unlocked by winning defensive ambush battles. Fix inconsistencies in Bretonian Warhorse mount naming. Fix Gromdel's Cloak of Valak quest battle pre-battle screen not showing any enemy units. Well, yeah, seen that. Fixed Moradi's quest chain getting stuck on an incompatible rite if she had been confederated into Kron Helbrand's faction. What madness. Frosty Beginnings mission should no longer trigger for Kron Helbrand is if she is at war with a faction. Fixed Norse cannot being able to occupy settlements that were added in recent patches. Wow. Phrase Pirate Booty now freely interchangeable with Pirate Duty. What the hell? Fix an issue where loading an autosave after configuring as Norse Constellation difficulty would not save the confederation. Fixed an Eastern instance in the event feed where Brayherds could be referred to as Vaz. That's why they had Underway, guys, and not the Beast Paths. Dark Elves now receive event messages when a Black Ark building is constructed or demolished. Morgur's Stave of Ruinous Corruption quest will now correctly proceed when the quest is aborted as a result of the Greenskins faction being destroyed. Holy shit, man, they really fixed a lot of stuff here. As Warriors of Chaos, awakening a tribe in a region that was under rebellion no longer produces amalgamations of unmanageable horror. Do I really have to Google this word? The action process or result of combining or uniting. Mom, I'm a simple man here. They use simple words. I did not finish college. Adjusted campaigner traits so that it will no longer trigger when close to the faction capital. Blood Drinker quest stage 2 has been changed to defeat an Empire army. Dwarf campaigns will no longer start with minus 36 public order in their home province. What the hell? This never happened to us. Change the skill Renowned and Fear to be gender neutral so that it makes sense in both male and female characters' skill trees. Clicking on the resource in Mortuary Cult to zoom to the nearest one should now work correctly for all resources. Norscan garrison's leaders can no longer be wounded and subsequently returned from duty. Booker says that it happened on normal. Well, yeah. We never played on normal. The second and third tier slave building chain for Norse can now correctly give bonuses to sacking. The Norse can take longer halves will now correctly give 10% bonus to sacking. Players can no longer declare war on their own blood voyage. What the hell? Somebody got really pissed and you know, they wanted to see how strong, how weak they really are, the unbreakable armies. Shadow Walkers and Shadow Warriors will no longer gain the 10% missile resistance of favorable winds prior to rank 7. So they nerfed their missile resistance so they are less pain in the ass to deal with. Skaven factions are no longer invisible to the player after being vassalized. Alit and Nara will no longer trigger an advisor message by Dark Elves when none are present. The advisor now correctly shows for Vlad and Isabella. The advisor will no longer incorrectly trigger when playing a Skaven, informing the player of the knowledge being available when there are none. The faction summary for Nagaran will now show the correct faction symbol when referencing Exiles of Nehek. I was Akkad. Hey, Mr. Dogbert. There's a really lot of changes here. Added a tooltip to the toggle notification options on lords and heroes to clarify the functionality better. The tooltip for Ember will no longer advise the player to demolish buildings to regain Ember when the only buildings that require Ember cannot be demolished. Tooltips will no longer stay stuck on screen when turning a locked overlay on and exiting the overlay screen. The Skaven mission evil... Oh man, how would you even say this? Evil... How do you even read this? Can squeal? Evil can squeal? This is messed up. This is a mouthful. Will ask the player to recruit a duel rather than a chariot. Can squeal? Femur Belfin skill power drain has been renamed Magical Reserves to better reflect its functionality. I have to understand the pun. Squeal. And squeal. It's a play of Evil Knievel, American Daredevil driver. I don't know about that. Fix a typo in Alex and not disrespect skill. Fix a typo in Ark and the Black's flyover. Fix a typo in Tyrion's Dragon Armor. Typos, bunch of typos. We're gonna ignore the typos. Fixed edge cases in AI with AI auto-resolve which favor one side too much. Ooh, this might actually be some change. Actually might be some change here. It's like Sigvald with 3 units deleting 4 armies. Typo, AI is now far less likely to construct 2 of the same building in the same province. This is interesting. Port settlements will now show a port icon on the city info bar. Vampiric corruption will no longer overlap in the tooltip at certain percentages. Killhard the Tormentor will no longer stand in a T-pose on the campaign map. You guys remember the T-pose, no animation fights? Fix the typo in the forbidden... typo. Norscan long-term victory message should be more relevant to the faction now. The text. So it doesn't break your immersion. More typos. Confederating as Norska by defeating a faction lord will no longer results in the incorrect event message from being displayed. Typo. Fix an anomaly with the auto-resolve bar display resetting in strength when adding more units. Okay, this was hilarious. This is hilarious. You know, you send one army, it's like 60-40, and you send another army, it's 50-50. Added income to Bretonnian settlements. That is big. That is big. We finally have technology that does something. The Bretonnians have some of the highest growth of all the factions. They breed like rats. And they didn't have income on their settlements. And Bretonnians having income now on their settlements will help them more. I might even be a more AI buff than for the player, because AI can use that income. You know, they can miracle worker with small amounts. The button to disband the lord in the character details panel is now grayed out for legendary lords. So you can no longer replace a legendary lord. Is this what this means? No longer replace. Because this is interesting. The button to disband the lord in the card details panel is now grayed out for legendary lords. So you can no longer replace a legendary lord. Okay, this is more fitting, and you can just replace and then, as the legendary lords should be important characters. Fixed an issue where Malagor's entire army could be lost if he was wounded. Sometimes I actually seen Malagor go poof. I'm not even sure if it was for the AI, for the issue with AI. Gore Grazen will no longer load the Shrine of Cain Battle of Gore Grazen. This is the Gore Is this Gore Kazan? This is the Southern Balance, right? I actually clipped this in Eye Vortex. Somebody was streaming it, and instead of loading Southern Balance, it loaded the Shrine of Cain. Gore Kazan. I'm not familiar with this element. I have a clip somewhere. 1 second. It is Gore Kazan. Gore Kazan. So you see Gore Kazan. This used to load the Shrine of Cain. So this is Southern Balance, and look at this, what it's gonna load. It loads the Dark Elf battleground in the Southern Badlands where the Savage Orcs are.
Stupid top knots.
Look at this. You can actually see the Shrine of Cain behind. There it is. Okay. 1 second, guys. Switching. Okay, this is okay. This is okay. What do we have? General battle changes and fixes. Added. Okay, no matter. Fix some rare battle crashes. Okay, this is always good news, because, you know, guys, I say this is the most stable Total War game up to date, and the crashes are very rare, and then the Destiny intervenes and crashes my game when it's loading into battle once in like a couple 100 hours. Always good to see they're fixing the rare battle crashes. Added the Battle Legion faction to the custom battles. Reinforcements should now enter the battlefield from the expected direction. Hopefully they post-patched the public beta, because it did not work on some of the reinforcements when you're attacking garrison in the settlement. But it did get fixed in most situations, so this is gonna make a lot of people happy. This is probably one of the most complained things when it comes to glitches and the bugs in this game. So this will make a lot of people happy. The timer in place will now count up rather than down. Fixed an issue where the game could freeze and crash when hovering over multi-shot ammunition and Reaper bolt throwers. Wow, that never happened to us. Updated Warhide and Carbides unit category descriptions. Reduced likelihood of artillery marching towards greenskin high L towers and giving attack order against these towers. Hell yeah! Hallelujah! Oh my god, long have we waited? 12 months? It will still happen, it seems, but they reduced it. That was so annoying. This is one of the most annoying bugs in the game. We've been delivered. AI will now use Realm of Souls Sharp and Menace from Below on non-range artillery units. So not just spam on the range stuff. So I get a little more unpredictable, which is a good thing. If the Menace Below is used inside a settlement as the attacker, the towers will no longer fire inside the settlement. What? Encourage attribute has been added to Goblin Great Shaman when mounted a Giant Wolf. So Goblin Great Shaman, a Giant Wolf, now has Encourage. I have never even noticed that the Goblin Great Shaman Lord didn't have Encourage before. You know, the leadership buff. I mean, you know, the goblins don't inspire bravery, right? Encourage attribute has been added to Night Goblin Shaman. What do we have next? Norska units, Trolls, Frostworm, and Manticore now have Siege Attacker attribute. Okay, that's good. Trolls didn't have the Siege Attacker before on the Norska. I guess the Shopti are still no longer in that on the patch list, to get the Siege Attacker. Malekith now has the Siege Attacker attribute when the Dragon Mount. Hell yeah. High Elf Dragon Mounts now correctly show the Siege Attacker icon. Finally, we're getting some serious fixes, guys. Long have we waited for this update. Long. The wait has been long, but when you see the list of updates and 6 new factions, it's almost worth it. Waiting, what? 5 months. Granted, Decapods tries into a mirror while... What the... Chanted Decapods tries into a mirror while turning around, and... Oh, Mighty Sigma, look at the mess we are in. Okay, this is more trolling here. This is more trolling. Fixed issue with Siege Attacker icon not appearing for High Elf Lords, Mountain Dragons in custom battles. Guys, don't summon evil into your house. Wolfric now correctly has 50% missile resistance when mounted on his Mammoth. Holy, oh my god. Look at this. If anybody remembers my Norse campaign in Warhammer 1, I was like, where he has the missile resistance disappears when he goes on the Mammoth. This is actually a big deal for him on the Mammoth. Might actually be viable over the Chariot now. This has been in the game for too long. That extra resistance was missing. It was like, what's the point of the Mammoth if you get focused by a couple of handgunners? The heroes have natural missile resistance, the lords and heroes. So it's only normal for the Wolfric to have it as well. It's a thing for the lords and heroes. High Elf Noble will no longer incorrectly do damage on collision. Interesting. Added missing on screen in the quotes for some units. No, this is all them, all of them. Ultron Battle Mass will no longer correctly be used when fighting in Badlands area of the Vortex campaign map. I get this is the same thing as this. Fireball can no longer be cast without it casting Miss of Magic and ignoring its cooldown. Big scale of Wood Elf heroes. I'm not even sure what this means. Wood Elf heroes were too big. Fixed an issue where Beastman models would appear too large compared to the Rezagor chariot they were occupying. We have seen some of these bugs where a model will be too big for its mount. Zooming limits adjusted. Min camera height is slower, allowing for a ground level cinematic angle, and max camera height is 7% higher, allowing for slightly wider overview. Holy shit, this is big. This is big. You see, you don't need to use mods. They eventually, learn that this is, the right way, and they buff slowly. After year after year, the shit gets adjusted. This is really, really good. But it's also gonna be demanding on your hardware. That's probably why it was limited in the first place. Lords on flying mounts should now respond correctly to movement orders after being interrupted or knocked back during duels. Okay, this is actually a big deal as well, because sometimes the units you lose control over it. The units will get triggered so hard it'll just keep attacking the same target, not responding to your orders. We've seen this in several cases. Fixed an issue where maybe they fixed it for the Doom Wheel as well. One of the reasons I stopped using Doom Wheels is because of this. The Doom Wheel sometimes gets so focused on the attack that you cannot longer control it. And with its health, it's bad when a Doom Wheel loses control. Fixed an issue where invalid movement orders could be issued on several siege maps. Heinrich Kammer now has his Kill Summon ability in his quest battles played via the front end. Alitanar will now use a giant eagle in his Moonbow quest when started from the front end to match the campaign starting army. Rage is no longer removed when disabling Foe Seeker or Fight or Die from Marauder Chieftain Lord in custom multiple battle. Yeah, this definitely sounds like an issue. Bjark Black Rider will now display the correct model. Raider. He was using the model of a bright wizard, and it's supposed to be a beastman, I think. Beast Lord. What the hell is a giant eagle? I don't know, Shield Wizard. We'll have to see in the patch. Dark Elf Manticore's faceplate is now positioned correctly. But what about that faceplate increasing some armor? Temple of Luminarch now displays the correct model and Wi-Fi X when destroyed. Fixed a graphical stretching issue shown on Dark Elf Manticore's legs. Wait a minute, I've never seen any issues with Manticore legs. Fixed an issue where the Supreme Sorceress would clip through the seat on the Manticore mount. Oh, yeah, this is actually a good fix. Now we can, you know, inspect the Supreme Sorceress better. Let's zoom in. You know, to see how the glorious the Manticore is. Fixed an issue where the Shabdi heads could show as small triangles when zoomed out. Oh man. The more you learn here, you know, like you're wondering, you know, I paid attention, but I have not seen any of these issues before. Fixed an issue with Necropolis Knights where the main body would clip through the head. I think we've seen this before. Fixed an issue where Lot and Seaguard's shield kelp would not display it correctly. Blood should no longer appear as vertical lines on the Hydra and the Carabidis necks. Blood will no longer disappear on ranged units' bows during their firing animations. The Carabidis heads should no longer be so offset during the Carabidis' matched animation. Fixed various issues with elf units when weapon switching, which include weapons flickering or disappearing and holding swords and bows at the same time. Yeah, I seen them hold swords and bows at the same time. So they basically shoot an arrow while they holding a sword in the right hand. Dark Riders with repeated crossbows and Raven Heralds with repeated crossbows will no longer change their bow model during their firing animations. It's pronounced Charybdis. Well, every now and then some wise guy, you know, corrects me, and then I say the wrong on purpose. That's actually a normal thing on Twitch. If you're new on Twitch, when you correct the streamers too much, they start saying the wrong word on purpose. You know, like macabre. You know, when in the Call of Cthulhu, not macabre. That's how it works. That's the Twitcher perk if you're a streamer on Twitch. Okay. Pistoliers, Outriders, and Outriders with grenade launchers will no longer swap their sword between their hand and hip while idling. Mounted Yeomen will no longer change their bow model during their firing animations. So they changed a lot of these animations to make it look more polished. Dark Riders with shields will now hold their shields correctly during charges. Yeah, this is a lot of the things which you don't even notice unless you are using slow motion or pause a lot, like, you know, playing on legendary. The Handmaiden Spear will no longer detach from her hand during some attack animations. The Blessed Legion of Pact will no longer incorrectly hold spears and shields when the user is zoomed out a great distance from the unit. Fixed an animation sync issue during Hellstorm Rocket Battery's firing animation. Fixed an issue where low tier Empire and Bretonnia units would play the wrong animation during a moving attack. Fix an issue where Morg would occasionally use a whip when attacking. The Charybdis main head will no longer snap during any attacks. Oh man. Snapping. The Charybdis will no longer cross its jaw during sweeping attacks. Increase shadow map resolution on medium, high and ultra settings. Oh. Shadow map resolution, huh? I hope we don't get those super sharp textures once they were introduced once. You guys remember that? Like, I think it was brought on by the NVIDIA driver. Maybe they fixed it. It was happening on the lower settings. Added collision to some buildings that lacked it on Hammery siege map. Troops will now hide correctly in Kazid Irkula's map. Fix an area in Eagle Gate map where troops could not be deployed. Fix multiple instances of floating walls and props on Port Alistair siege map. Yes, too much yapping. I need to drink some water. 1 second. This is a huge patch, man. It looks like it might be even bigger than Trons Britannia patch they had recently. You know those guys from Trons Britannia, they don't miss anything from the patch notes. Unless, you know, it's making diplomacy to make no sense anymore in the game. The last patch for Trons Britannia had the most impressive patch notes ever seen on from Creative Assembly.
Oh my god. Have you seen that shit? Holy shit. What the
Hey, Ilshek, thank you for keen support. What do we have here? The walls are no longer slightly floating above the terrain in the ancient city of Quintex siege map. Props will no longer flicker on the Karak Zorn siege map. I have not even noticed this flickering. The Karak Zorn siege map is very dark. It's so dark. Fixed an issue with the lightning in what? Karak Izor siege map. Ruination of cities will no longer appear textureless. Fix some smoke VFX that appear to be 2D. VFX will not be properly displayed when the Sunmaker is destroyed. That's the Regiment Renown from the Empire, the artillery piece. Norscan Warhounds are now using the correct unit card. The branch rate provided in the army for sort of date stage 1 quest battle will no longer use the incorrect unit card. Upgraded spells with minus 50% miscast chance will now display the miscast chance in the tooltip. Yeah. Frostbred now has the correct tooltip. Sound will now correctly play when clicking on the unit info, arrows and custom battle. Wood Elf and High Elf archers will no longer swap bomb models when firing artillery. Will no longer be able to shoot beyond its intended range when forcing it to shoot at the ground. Frame rate drops should be less frequent during battle when units appear or abilities are used. So it's like more optimization here. Lot and Sea Guards with shields should now correctly display on their backs when they are in missile mode. Wood Elf and High Elf Lord swords will no longer disappear and they appear during their firing animation when mounted on horses. Individual archer units should no longer be killing an excessive amount of enemies compared to the same units in the army. Is this a change for the auto-resolve? Is this what I'm getting here, boys? No longer Goblin Archers with 200 kills. It looks like this might be a change to the auto-resolver. This is actually a good change, because some of those auto-resolve battles against small garrisons are scary. Because, you know, you don't want to see 2 ranged units with 300 kills. And you have artillery to destroy them with 0 casualties. Heroes will no longer die when flying over a wall that gets destroyed. Oh, they finally fixed that. Guys, I don't like to talk about this, but in one of my Empire campaigns, I was firing on the wall with my artillery, and Karl Franz was flying over the wall at the time, and the wall collapsed, and Karl Franz with it, and he was in the air. So I'm scared to test this, but we'll test this when the patch arrives. Order and movement. Okay, this is cool case, but it's. Projectiles now correctly show VFX when projectile trails are set to off. Okay, what do we have here? Audio changes and fixes. A reworked group vocalization system and added new assets for most humanoid units. Blood Knights status for Blood More. Bretonians, Knights and Peasants are now overly honorable. Dark Elves, Male, Female and Witch Elves are now extra malevolent. Dwarves now hold even more grudges. Audio changes and fixes. Empire State troops are now more disciplined. Goblins are now extra stabby. High Elves, Male and Female, have increased in arrogance. Orcs now harder than ever, if only. Warriors of Chaos and Norskans, chosen Marauders and Chaos Warriors, worship Dark Gods more intensely. I'm hoping this is actually a change in the game and not just a meme text here. Wood Elves, Male and Female, are now wilder. No, guys, sometimes you like your elves wild. Tweaked and improved individual vocalizations. New assets for Chaos, for the Chosen, Marauders, Chaos Warriors, Dwarves, and Ghost Heroes. This is actually pretty cool. We get new audio. Kind of make the inject some freshness into the game. Improve distinction between roars and screams for animations, battling campaign, and attack animations to use the suitable events. Ghost Horses. You know, guys, every time I play Vampire Counts, I complain how the Hex Wraiths have the same sound as the other cavalry, instead of some kind of spooky, you know, ghostly Wraith sounds. So I'm hoping they actually improve that, so we can actually hear some really spooky sounds when you're using ghosts, and not just regular cavalry sounds when you're using ethereal cavalry. Or, you know, where the war dancers are marching, are you know, running in the battle, and they're like it sounds like they're wearing full plate armor, and they barely have any clothes on. Legendary Lords have all received my bad, barely any armor on. Correction. Legendary Lords have all received the new cinematic kit 2 impact sounds for their melee attacks appropriate to their weapon or attack of choice. Improve the audio mix when music is enabled. Balance the mix of multiple larger creatures. This actually sounds quite a good changes here, but we'll have to wait and see and hear. Improve the audio feedback on magic and ability targeting. Reduce spamming of targeting UI sound when moving between targets. Reduce cannonball impact spam. Blasting charge limiting updated. Worked Empire and Norska battle environment ambience. Set Alariel's Alitanar and Kron Hellborn campaign lore detail spell. See this this is our voiceovers to 2D. Front end ambience is now crossfade when switching between backgrounds. Front end lore ported videos now play once at full volume, then reduce the volume for subsequent loops. So they no longer scream for a while. Malekith has had a bit of a lie down, is feeling much better now, thank you, and will no longer scream incessantly in raiding stands. Sound will now correctly play when clicking on the unit info arrows in custom battle. A whole that's a wall of text pretty much already. Look at this, we're not even done yet. What do we have here? Now on to the good stuff. Let's see how much his multiplayer affected our campaign gameplay now. Character and multiplayer balancing. Malagor has received more mass. He's faster. Has more melee attack, more melee defense, more AP melee damage, and more base melee damage. So nice Malagor buff here. He's kind of squishy in melee, but he can help when there is a unit fighting. Let's say you have like a Gore herd fighting a unit, you can send Malagor in without risking much of him taking too much damage. Gorbul has received more mass, plus 5% hit reaction ignore chance, plus 5% knock interrupt ignore chance, no longer has terrain penalty shell of water. Always nice to see Gorbul changes. I'm thinking these percentages are a good thing. Khazrak on the chariot has more armor. Khazrak has more armor, his chariot. Look at that Khazrak chariot in a bunch of biggins. Dead. Always nice when they buff Khazrak. Moru has more mass, so Tomb Scorpion doesn't stun lock him for the rest of the battle. Giant has more AP melee damage, more base melee damage, more special attack mass. This is actually great. This is great. I approve this. The Giants, ever since the release of Warhammer 2, have seemed much less than they used to be. Giants used to be a very terrifying thing in Warhammer 1. In Warhammer 2, it's like just point a range attacker on a Giant and forget about it. Giant, when he gets into melee, should delete people. This looks like a very good change for the Giant. Very nice. What do we have for the Dwarves? Thane has received a melee defense buff. Bugman's Rangers lost health, -2 health per entity, which means they lost this times the scale you're playing. So they lost quite a bit of health, 160 health. They did have quite a bit of health, Bugman's Rangers. It's a very, very tanky unit because of the regeneration. Health nerf, I don't know, it doesn't matter much in the campaign. They kill people from afar, and in melee they're almost like dwarf warriors with regeneration. Hammerers have received a health buff. I approve that. And I'm getting sick of Hammerers getting focused by range and taking too much damage. Not much casualties, but too much damage before getting into melee. Hammer health buff is nice. But ever since the introduction of Giant Slayers, the Hammerers kind of lost the role in the army. Big Gedgard also got buff health. This is the their version of the Regiment of Renown. A Gyro Bomber has more health and more clutter gun ammo. What's the point of buffing a Gyro Bomber when it's just a single entity with very, very bad design? Like, Gyro Bomber needs 3 more models like the rest of the Gyrocopters. It's not a justify for tier 5 unit at all. Tier 5 unit, give me a break. Warlords Gravens get more melee defense. They have changed the Gyro Bomber so many times, it's like they should have just given it more models. Same as the Gyrocopters. It's like a tier 5 unit will never be a tier 5 unit because of the goddamn multiplayer. And some units are, for some units this is especially true. And the Gyro Bomber is one of these units. Okay. The boys have been buffed. Let's see. Skarsnik has received 300 mass. I mean, 300 might seem a lot, but it's not really a lot, I think. Skarsnik is large, unlike Grimgor. Sad face. Grimgor has received 600 mass, 5 armor and 7 melee defense. Getting 7 melee defense on Grimgor is very nice, and more armor. This is nice. Nice stuff. We'll see if he's still just a weaker Slayer King or actually proper Grimgor. So the Shamans now having courage. Squeak herds, they buff the health on the unit. Orc board Chariot has more melee attack. The Savage Orc board boys begins now truly big and harder with 5 bonus versus large, my 2 charge bonus. The Savage Orc boy begins is the best Savage Orc unit, and getting a bonus versus large is nice. If you never played with the Bloody Hands, this is your best unit with the extra resistance, and they're basically like better Chaos Knights until the enemy gets some hard counter to it. But they're gonna get rid of the Chaos Knights in that case as well. I enjoy using this unit when we play Bloody Hands, and getting a bonus versus large is very nice, so they don't lose the cavalry engagements. And the giant buff here as well, because it's gonna have the giant too. The giants are gonna be more scary than melee now, but the giant has one very big weakness. Warhammer battlefields are dominated by range. Range dominates on the battlefields, and the giant is weak to range. It's basically what the giant is. It's big, and it's gonna be deleted easy with range. 12,000 HP is a lot, but I think a giant should get more missile resistance. If not, due to multiplayer changes, give the giant missile resistance on the end game technology. So the giants are actually more viable. Player giants are solid because the AI don't know how to focus it as the player, but the AI giants, since after the Warhammer 1, are actually no threat. The giants get hard countered by nearly any range. So end game giants technology should be to give giants some, call it some kind of armor or something. Don't have to be visual. Just give them some missile resistance, and will not affect multiplayer, and it will matter actually in single player. Giants are scary in melee, but they get hard countered by any range. And 12,000 HP seems to be the highest HP they give to all these large entities. It's not enough when a veteran quarrel can handle a giant, no problem. So the Royal Aldorf Griffites, which is the Regiment of Renown, have more health and less charge bonus. So they buff the health on demigriffs. They lower the charge on the halberds. The Lancers have extra melee defense. Pistoliers buffed again, plus 8 charge bonus and plus 2 melee attack. Guys, Pistoliers used to be one of the worst designed units I ever seen in my life. Ever since they increased their health, their range, their damage, and now they get charge bonus and attack. Pistoliers are becoming a staple unit in the early game, man. Like, why would you ever recruit Emperor Knights when you get Pistoliers? This is nice. Now even more threatening in a charge. What tier are the Emperor Knights? Tier 3? Emperor Knights should all be the same tier as Pistoliers. There is really no point recruiting Emperor Knights when you can recruit Pistoliers. I'm serious here. Have you not seen, you guys, if you've not seen our last Emperor campaign, we actually played a couple Pistoliers. Pistolier used to be a really bad design unit. Bad range, bad damage, not enough ammunition, they just fire out all their ammunition. Everything has changed now. The Pistoliers become really good, and with changes to damage, it's like having a mounted free company militia. And you either have a guys on foot or guys on horses. Great Swords have received more leadership. Halberdiers have received more leadership. Witch Hunter has been nerfed, less ammo. Who cares? I don't use Witch Hunters in battle. They're not that good in battle. There's a campaign agent. Heimdall, they don't need to buff Slayers. The Slayers are perfect as they are. Slayers have elite status health. Slayers are finally in a great spot. Giant Slayer has become a unit you want to put in the army. You want to put them behind your artillery or firing line and wait for something to come so they kill it. The Giant Slayers, the Slayers don't need buff. The Slayers are in a really good spot. Where were he? Spearmen with no shields have received extra bonus versus large. I guess enough people have complained how the Spearmen and Spearmen with shields didn't have any differences in weapon strength, attack, and charge. Another Steam Tank buff. Yoo-hoo! They're trying hard to make Steam Tank better in melee. It's another buff for the Steam Tank. Plus 3 bonuses infantry, 35 AP melee damage, and 5 base melee damage. Knights of the Blazing Sun got more AP. And Great Cannon has improved accuracy. Yeah. And nothing really significant for the Empire. This might be, you know, like irrelevant. We'll have to, you know, see this. Dark Elves. Malekith has more muscle foot. Chill of Saunter, Frostbite is no longer flaming. Charybdis has more anti-large. Units like Charybdis, like Necrosphinx, like the Helper Domination should have a really high bonus versus large. So they are more specialized. And seeing they actually buffed Charybdis with more anti-large, I'm happy with that. I mean, the buff for the health on Dimir is okay. They still already had good health. Already had good health. Their toughness comes from their high armor. Doomfire Warlocks have less health. The Slaanesh Harvest have less health. Sisters of Slaughter have got nerfed. 1 less melee attack and 1 less melee defense. This doesn't matter, man. Those girls are crazy. Cold One Knights have less charge but more melee attack and melee defense. That's actually a good change. So overall better. That the nerf to the charge is kinda irrelevant when you get the 8 melee attack and more melee defense. This will help this unit quite a bit. The Dread Knights also got buffed. What I find to be the main issue with the Dark Elf Cavalry is the health. Compare it to other elite cavalry in the game, the health is low. They're missing like 1,000 health. I'm not kidding you here. 1,000. Charge bonus. Charge bonus increases attack and damage when the unit is charging. Knights of the Ebon Claw had the same changes to the Regiment of Renown. And some strange new unit, it's plus 2 helper entity. I haven't really any patch notes there this unit before this unit shades all. So there must be some typo here. The Knights of the Dark Elves need more health. Maybe one day. Okay, what do we have with the High Elves here? The Dragon Princes have been nerfed. Less physical resistance. No big deal. They're already super tanky. This seems justified. Silver Helms got more charge bonus. And Maiden has increased projectile speed, increased projectile penetration. Sounds good. Sisters of Avalorn have more armor piercing missile damage. And they are now also included on other technologies for the High Elves, which means might even get more reload buff, ammunition, missile damage buff. It's like what I do it in Warhammer 4000, guys. You know, when they glue 2 bolters together. Or cell bullets together when they get like Hurricane Bolter. That's what they're doing with Sisters of Avalorn here. Twin linked. Okay, so this is the Regiment Renown. What do we have for Tyrion here? Looks like Tyrion has become armor piercing. So they must have heard us, shit talk between Tyrion and Kolek. Tyrion had a pretty good AP before, but most of his damage was still melee damage. And it looks like he has become armor piercing now. This is a nice buff to Tyrion. Minus 2 melee attack don't matter. So Tyrion has become armor piercing. Stormbolters must have been underperforming in. Yeah, Alarion Eagle has less melee attack. Alitanar projectiles slightly more accurate, increased projectile penetration. Oh man, Alitanar for the AI is getting scarier by the minute. Alitanar as the AI is really scary with that range attack because it's almost like a very accurate ballista. Oh shit! Look at this. Tyrannoc Chariot and Ithilmar Chariot now have martial prowess, but less melee defense. Hell yeah! Ithilmar Chariots with martial prowess. I need to go change my pajamas again. So they got more melee defense and melee attack when they have over 50% health. And Ithilmar Chariots don't lose their health that fast. It doesn't really matter that much for the Tyrannoc Chariots, but it's nice. For the Ithilmar Chariot, this is really good. They're gonna get even tankier now. That's a good change. This is a good, probably they forgot to put in the first place, or this might be a multiplayer thing, but I like it. Good thing I bought some extra pajamas a few months ago. Bretonia, what do we have here? They want you to use more artillery, yeah? They made Albrecht cheaper. It's like, yeah, it looks like he's not very popular in multiplayer either, guys. Feint Chantress says direct damage aura deals 20% less damage. Thank you, multiplayer. Thank you. Now we have to be melee and we do even less damage. I'm just kidding. Feint Chantress is great. I love Feint Chantress. Such a nice lord for the Bretonia. What do we have here? Green Knight has been buffed. Man, Green Knight is such a bad shape. More melee attack and defense. They seriously need to do something about the Green Knight in the campaign. This makes no sense. Ever since they removed his armor, he's become like average. And he takes a paladin slot while he's present. Green Knight, they have to do something about it. They should make it like a special hero we can actually level up. He's like not even that powerful. In Warhammer 1 the Green Knight was powerful. In Warhammer 2 like psh, he's just a paladin with full gear, high rank is throwing the Green Knight. Battle Pilgrims got melee defense. And their Regiment Renown version also got more melee defense. Green Knight should be a summon battle easy fix. Yeah, that sounds good. Hey, these you missed about 2 hours of reading here. Lizardman changes. Let's see what is this. Cold-blooded now stops rampage and gives +6 in leadership. No longer has max uses, removes star penalties and healing. So they reworked the cold-blooded. Stops the rampage and gives leadership. We'll see how that will work. I never really cared that much about that healing from the cold-blooded anyways. The Lizardmen get replenished, healed by the replenishment. It doesn't really matter that much. Maybe it's just a multiplayer thing. Cold One Riders added primal instability. -10 charge bonus, +10 melee attack, +2 melee defense, +4 AP ML damage, +2 melee base damage. And that's when you have to chase Archeon to Norska. I guess if you're gonna chase Archeon to Norska, you can use the Revivification Crystal. This looks like solid for the Coleman Riders. And the Speed Riders got the buff as well. The Horn ones got charge nerfed, but more attack, defense, and AP damage. Other ones hit like a truck. Croxigor has received a bonus on damage. I think this is again a bonus on damage. They've been buffing Croxigors a couple of times now. Skink Skirmishers got 1+1 base missile damage. Ancient Stegadon now has extra bonuses infantry, or he got +3 bonuses infantry. Stegadon as well. Feral Stegadon 2. +3, huh? Carnosaur got +3 melee attack. Lord Grand Pepe Zlak now uses Ancient Stegadon weapon strength. So it's a buff. Palanquin plus 516 health. So they got more health there, more melee defense. Saurus Spearman got more melee defense. Shields more melee defense. Warriors got more melee attack. Temple Guard health got buffed. Holy shit, they're gonna have almost more health. This makes probably puts them more health over Black Orcs. The Blessed ones only have more health than the Black Orcs. Black Orcs have more health than the Chosen. But still, it's for the whole unit, not per entity. What do we have here? Vampire counts. Helman Gors have now 400 extra health. Vampire Lord Nightmare has +10 armor. Devils of Schwarzhafen have +2 melee attack. Vargas got 2 melee attack. Vargas is getting more attack. Oh man, this is a good news. I love my Vargas murdering everybody. Terrorgas got a charge bonus nerf. Who cares about charge and flying units? Cane Wraiths got 2 melee attack. Ooh, that's a nice buff. That's a nice buff. Cane Wraiths do very high damage. They have a low attack. That's why you need to use the one hill dance macabre to get their attack up. Creep Horrors +1 melee defense. Oh, Creep Horrors, what have they done to you? This unit got butchered since Warhammer 1. Butchered. Oh, they lost 150% their armor. They lost 25 base armor. Finally the buff they needed. Looks like they buffed the area damage. The Mortis Engine deck damage aura deals 10% less damage. This is fine. This is acceptable. The Mortis Engine was doing already too much damage, if you ask me. This nerf to the damage on the Mortis Engine is fine. Justified for sure. I'm guessing this nerf will also apply to Gorst. What do we see for the Warriors of Chaos? Kolek has increased projectile intersection radius to 0.95, -5 armor. So they nerfed his armor. What will Kolek do without 5 armor? Good thing Sigvald gives him 15 armor. Ooh, they made Archeon armor piercing. Nice. Finally. And Sigvald finally gets better shield, more armor, more leadership. Oh my god, Sigvald's gonna have so much armor. Shame they didn't get Sigvald armor piercing like they did to give to Archeon and Tyrion. Sigvald's gonna have so much armor now. The Chaos Giant got the same buff like the other giants. Swords of Chaos got more armor piercing damage. Same as the Chaos Knights. I am really liking the Archeon armor piercing damage buff. Wave Watchers lost 1 ammo. Oh my god, what are they gonna do without that 1 ammo? Waste Stalker got buffed. Melee attack, melee defense, melee damage. 3 men have become armor piercing. They're finally gonna do some damage. And then just, you know, stay there in the crowd like trees. Like most times those 3 men are just in the crowd, taking no damage, dealing no damage. It's like they're swinging at a tree and nothing is happening. Ancient 3 men also got, this is nice. Ancient 3 men getting buffs. Sisters of Thorn lost 10 physical resistance. They had a really high phys resist. Must have been annoying somebody in the multiplayer. One less armor, that's like 60 less kills per battle now, pretty much. Oh, look at this wall of text here. Norse has definitely been lacking in Warhammer 2. Let's what do we have here? Feral Mammoth has increased acceleration, less mass, less melee attack, less melee damage, more bonuses to infantry, more base melee damage, more collision attack max targets, 2 collision attack max targets cooldown, induce collision damage for mammoths. So they kinda like reworking the mammoths here. So they're more specialized against infantry now. I don't know, guys. This sounds like a nerf to me, but we'll have to see about this collision attack max targets. The mammoths have to do a lot of splash damage, and they have to be really hard to kill. More acceleration now. It's the wall of text is for the mammoths, pretty much. So they rework the mammoths a little. Berserkers got less melee defense. Marauder Champions who get weapons got more melee defense. Same buff for the Norse Giant. They buffed all the giants in melee. Frostworm Frostbite is no longer flaming damage. So what, are they adding cold damage now to the game or what? Magic damage? Because in the game you have physical damage, fire damage, and magic damage. Marauders with hunters with axes increase projectile mass for more knockbacks. Skaven. Oh man, I don't see any changes to these slingers, man. The Skaven needs some range units. They need to buff range and armor pierce damage on the slingers. The Dead Globe Bombardiers and Wind Globe Bombardiers have more ammo. That's nice. Hellpit Abomination has more armor piercing damage, more damage general. The Summoned Skaven Slayer Spears now have Scurry Away and Selling Numbers abilities. No buff on the Anti-Large on the Hellpit Abomination. A Warlord on the Bombreaker has more health, which is nice. Quick Head Taker gets plus 19 bonuses infantry. Holy shit. Is this that nerf or extra more bonus? Looks like it's a more bonus. Quick Head Taker is already one of the top duelists. One of the top duelists in the game. And he now's even better against infantry. Stoneworm and Halberds got more melee attack. Hell yeah! Nice, nice stuff. This is nice. Love this. Tomb Kings, what do we have here? Casket of Souls increased projectile accuracy. Oh boy, the Casket of Souls perversions. Next time we play Tomb Kings, I'm gonna get a prepared lord with 4 caskets. Cetra on Chariot of the Gods gets more melee defense. Hell yeah! Necrosphinx is increased in health. Huh, that's a start. It's just missing a 0 there, guys. The Sphinx of Usep is lost health. What? The Stalkers plus 1 melee attack, projectiles deal plus 1 AP melee damage each. And the Stalkers, no stalk for the Stalkers. They're called Sepulchral Stalkers, but they don't have stalk. Honestly, the Necrosphinx have to have another 0 on the health. This unit needs stock. How can they have sepulchral stalkers? They're called stalkers and they have no stock. What the hell is this? They need to rename this unit or give it stock. That unit with a stock could be pretty decent. Spell abilities balancing. The dreaded 13th spell, Summon Storm, now have Scurry Away and Staying Numbers abilities. I guess they were missing in the summon units. The Soul Rain, Soul Storm, and the Soul Torrent have increased AP explosion damage by 50%. Oh my god. The Venom Staff increased AP explosion damage by plus 18. The Venom Staff is probably one of the worst items in the game, if not the worst one. This plus 18 will not save it. Skarsnik's brother has a Venom, his ability increased AP explosion damage plus 18 as well. Comet of Cassandra has more explosion damage. You think BS they're watching this? I like the change of the Comet of Cassandra. I like that spell to deal more damage. The Flame Storm now drags entities towards it rather than pushing them away. Ooh, I wanna see that. That sounds cool. I want the Flame Storm to suck them. Suck them in and burn them all. Otherwise, what's the point of Flame Storm? Just use the Piercing Bolts of Burning. Much more reliable damage source. When Breath of the Sun now applies minus 22 Flame Weakness. You're telling me all this time we did not apply Flame Weakness? At least it worked in my head. Shield of the Old Ones replaced 44 magic resistance with 22% ward save. Oh, good change. Pearl of Infinite Bleakness added plus 8 leadership. So they changed quite a bit of this stuff here. Dark Mail changed to a passive cell buff active mail that adds 24 armor and 22 magic resistance. Lance Formation has less charge speed, less acceleration, less deceleration. Oh man. Hunter of Champions, minus 1 melee defense. Like, how did they even decide to put stuff like that? Like an ability doing like 30-40 and then decide to let them make it minus 1. Regrowth has removed physical resistance, replaced it with 100% vigor. Ooh. It sucked to lose the physical resistance, but giving vigor now? I like it. I like it. Shield of Thorns replaces music between two physical resistance, reduce duration to 22 seconds. Ballistic Calibration reduce duration from 57 to 32. Oh, they nerfed the Master Engineers, guys, and Warlock Engineers. Regrowth looks real solid now. The physical resistance is nice, but 100% vigor, even better. So they nerfed Master Engineers and Warlock Engineers with Ballistic Calibration. The duration of 57 seconds was a little bit absurd. 32 is still solid. Curse of the Bad Moon, contact effect now reduces melee defense rather than melee attack. Gork will fix the change to minus 24% movement speed to minus 48 movement speed. No longer affects vigor. Increased duration to 24 seconds. They nerfed Va already. Reduced melee attack increase from 26 to 20. I haven't even clicked that button, they already nerfed it. Scarecrow Banner. Oh boys, here we go. Here. Increased morale penalty for flying units from -4 to -8. Oh brother. Oh my god. Light of Battle has a 40-meter effect radius, reduced duration. So they're gonna be unbreakable to more units now. Tilting Rob removed morale increase armor bonus to plus 6, and reduce the range to 44. Rune of Hurt and Home increase effect range to 45 meters. Oh, that's nice. Destroyer now adds only implies 15 ability recharge per 90 seconds. Yeah. That the thing with the Malekith was a little bit absurding sometimes. Curse, you know, guys. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to the Scarecrow banner. You know, my favorite thing about a dwarf update is that forge that you can recycle items. I can't wait to get the Scarecrow banners or the Pigeon Plucker Mambo Jumbo pendants so I can click that button to destroy them. Curse Blade fixed the application of direct damage. Heart of Avalon now activates when Tyrion goes below 20% health. Crown of Domination increased effect radius to 55 meters. I mean, radius is fine, but Archaean arm is gonna need leadership, huh? Transformation of Kadon, Manticore unbinds 4% slower, reduced casting cost by -2. Well, we might actually get this skill now. Doom Swarm reduced direct damage by 25%. They didn't even over nerf it, guys. It's only 25%. Doom Swarm still at large. Death Frenzy increased duration to 28. Death Frenzy upgrade increased duration to 2 by 2. Doom Swarm is definitely needed tuning. The damage was absurd. Lowering by 25% seems reasonable. You change. Skither Leap now has a 40-meter radius. Duration increased to 41. So you can actually hide several units. Same with the Night Shroud. Headbutt is cheaper. Oh, not bad, not bad. They nerfed the Date Sword. I mean, 2 uses, it sounds good for a bell. It's a multiplayer thing, probably. The Durtu is already super powerful. Sneaky Stabbing reduced wind up time to 1. Gaze of Malice changed the uncommon ability max 3 uses. Cost increased to 152. Recharge time changed to 90. Jousting Creation of Curse Blade is cheaper. Oh my god, really? Really? It's gonna cost 2 now? It's the best spell to trigger the Restless Dead. This is great change. Great change. Keep spamming this shit for 2 cost to spam Restless Dead. Very nice. Upgraded one is not even worth casting, because you want the low cooldown. Trigger Restless Dead more often. Fragment Incantation of Skull Storm is cheaper as well. Gaze of Nagash increased accuracy. I'll believe it when I see it. Change to a higher ballistic trajectory. Shame's Burning Gaze increased accuracy, change to a higher ballistic trajectory. Both Gaze of Nagash and Shame Burning Gaze and Vindictive Glare and the Gaze of Mork were really bad skills, if you ask me. Never worth casting. But now, with these changes, they might actually be worth casting again. The Gaze of Nagash is supposed to be deadly shit. Nagash looks at you and you are supposed to age 1,000 years. This better be good here. I want these things to work, especially the Shame's Burning Gaze, because you know you have 2 on the Hero Titan. Right now it's not good. This might make it better. I've seen it sometimes in Warhammer 1 when a Gaze could take Lord down by half health on large scale. But this is no longer Warhammer 1 and the Ultra Scale has become the new standard. Guys, there's so much patch notes. I have to say, after reading all this stuff, who knows what we're gonna see in the game that has not been here. Shame they've not fixed the Wood Elf armor. The Wood Elf armor is still broken, makes the AI and the player overpowered. Instead of 20 flat, they get 20%. Instead of 20%, they get 20 flat. But I have to say, 6 new factions with the Vampire Coast and all these changes. The wait has almost been worth it. Almost been worth it. 2 more days, boys, until the DLC. 2 more days, we start the campaign. Same as the Tomb Kings. I think this is a must buy. Guys, this might not be all. There might be more changes they have not listed here. I love the changes to Malagor and Sigvald. Love it. We'll have to see in the game, pay attention to everything and see what actually has been fixed and what has not been shown here. Some of these changes are really good. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. If you guys missed any of this, it'll be on a VOD, and I'll put it also on YouTube. We are done for today. Done for the day. Tomorrow might be just a short stream, play something random, and then on the 8th we're starting a long stream of Vampire Coast with Lokhir Fellheart. I'm planning a 11 or 12 hour stream on Thursday.
Oh my god. Have you seen that shit? Holy shit. What
Hey, Big Betty. Yeah, let's hope the changes work. We're done. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Go host somebody. Who are we gonna host? Who is online? Ooh, Trumba is playing Thrones of Britannia. Let's go host Trumba. Trumba, guys, is a small Total War streamer. Please come to his channel and say hi. He plays a lot of Thrones of Britannia. He is persistent with that game, even with a broken diplomacy. See you guys tomorrow.